China, there lived an old widow and her son, Chen. The widow was known all over for the brocades that she made on her loom. Weaving threads of silver, gold, and colored silk into her cloth, she made pictures of flowers, birds, and animals, pictures so real they almost seemed alive. People said there were no brocades finer than the one the widow wove. One day, the widow took a pile of brocades to the marketplace where she quickly sold them. Then she went about buying her household needs. All at once, she stopped.
Oh my!
Her eye had been caught by a beautiful painted scroll that had hung in one of the stalls. It showed a marvelous palace, all red and yellow and blue and green, reaching delicately to the sky. All around were fantastic gardens, and walking through them, the loveliest maidens. The stall-keeper asked,
Do you like it? It's a painting of the Sun Palace. They say it lies far to the east and is home to many fairy ladies. I love it. It makes me want to be there.
Though it cost most of her money, the widow could not resist buying that scroll. When she got back to her cottage, she showed it to her son.
Look, Chen, isn't it marvelous? Oh, how I would love to live in this palace, or at least visit it.
Chen looked at her thoughtfully.
Mother, why don't you weave the picture of this brocade? It'll almost feel like being there. Why, Chen, that's a marvelous idea. I'll start at once.
She set up her loom and began to weave. She worked for hours, then days, then weeks, barely stopping to eat or sleep. Her eyes grew bloodshot and her fingers raw.
Mother, shouldn't you get more rest? Oh, Chen, it's so hard to stop. While I weave, I feel like I'm there at Sun Palace, and I don't want to come away.
Because the widow no longer wove brocades to sell, Chen cut firewood and sold that instead. Months went by while inch by inch the pattern appeared on the loom. One day, Chen came in to find the loom empty and the widow sobbing.
What's wrong, Mother? I finished it.
The brocade was laid on the floor, and there it all was, the palace reaching to the sky, the beautiful gardens, the lovely fairy ladies.
I feel like I could just step into it.
Just then, a sudden wind whipped through the cottage. It lifted the brocade, blew it out the window, and carried it through the air. The widow and her son rushed outside, only to watch the brocade disappear into the east.
My brocade, it's gone!
And the widow fainted away. Chen carried her to bed and sat beside her for many hours. At last, her eyes opened.
Chen? Yes, Mother? You must find the brocade and bring it back to me here. I cannot live without it. I'll go at once.
Chen gathered a few things and started to the east. He walked for hours, then days, then weeks, but there was no sign of the brocade. One day, Chen came upon a lonely hut. Sitting by the door was an old, leather-skinned woman smoking a pipe. A horse was grazing nearby.
Hello, dearie. What brings you so far from home? I've come to look for my mother's brocade. Ah, yes, the brocade of Sun Palace. The wind was sent by the fairy ladies themselves. They're using it as a pattern for their weaving. But my mother will die without it. Well, then, you best get it back. But first, you have to cross through the fiery mountains. The single word of discontent, and you'll be burned to ashes. Then you have to cross through the icy sea. The smallest sound of complaint, and you'll be frozen solid. Do you still want to go? I must get back my mother's brocade. Good boy. Take the horse and go.
Chen climbed on, and the horse broke into a gallop. Before long, they came to a mountain all on fire. Without missing a step, the horse started up the slope, leaping through the flames. Chen felt the fire single his skin, but he bit his lip and said not a sound. At last, they came down to the other side. When they left the flames behind, Chen was surprised to see that his burns were gone. A little later, they came to a sea filled with great chunks of ice. Without pausing a moment, the horse began leaping from one ice floe to another. Waves showered him with icy spray, so that Chen was soaked and shivering. but he held his tongue and said not a word. Finally, they reached the far shore. At once, Chen felt himself dry and warm. It wasn't long then till they came to Sun Palace. It looked just like his mother's brocade. He rode to the entrance, sprang from the horse, and hurried into a huge hall. Sitting there at looms were dozens of fairy ladies who turned to stare at him, then whispered to each other excitedly. On each loom was a copy of his mother's brocade, and the brocade itself hung in the center of the room. A lady near the door rose from her loom to meet him.
Hello, my name is Leanne, and I welcome you. You are the first mortal ever to reach our palace. What good fortune brings you here?
I've come to look for my mother's brocade.
Oh, so you're the widow's son. How we admire your mother's brocade. None of us have been able to match it. We wish to keep it until we can.
But my mother will die without it.
Leanne looked alarmed, and a flurry of whispers arose in the room. She stepped away to speak softly with the several others, then returned to Chen.
We certainly must not let that happen to her. Overnight, we will try to finish it on our own, and tomorrow you can take it back with you.
Thank you, dear lady.
The fairies worked busily to finish the brocades. Chen sat near Leanne at her loom. As she wove, he told her about his life in the human world, and she told him about hers in Sun Palace. Many smiles and glances passed between them. When darkness fell, the fairies worked on by a light of the magic pearl. At last, Chen's eyes could stay open no longer, and he drifted to sleep on his chair. One by one, the fairies finished or left off, and went out of the hall. Leanne was the last one there, and it was almost dawn till she finished. She cut her brocade from the loom and held it beside the widow's.
Mine is good, but the widow's is still better. If only she could come here and teach us herself.
Then Leanne had an idea. With a needle and a thread, she embroidered a small image of herself on the palace steps. She softly said a spell, then she left the hall, with a last long smiling gaze at Chen. When Chen awoke, the sun was just rising. He looked around for the hall for Leanne, but saw no one. Though he longed to find her to say goodbye, he told himself.
I might not waste a moment.
He rolled up his mother's brocade, rushed from the hall, and jumped on the horse. Back he raced across the icy sea and over the fiery mountain. When he reached the old woman's hut, she was standing there waiting for him.
Hurry, Chen, your mother is dying. Here, take these shoes, or you'll never get there in time.
Chen put them on. 1 step, 2 step, 3. He was racing over the countryside faster than he could believe possible. In no time, he was home. He rushed into the cottage and found the widow in bed, pale and quiet.
Mother!
Her eyes opened slowly.
Chen? I've got back the brocade.
My brocade! You found it!
The widow raised herself to look. Color came back to her face, and she already seemed stronger.
Chen, I need more light. Let's take it outside.
He helped her out of the cottage and placed the brocade on a rock. But just then a sudden wind came, and the widow and the brocade rose slowly into the air. It stretched as it rose, growing larger and larger, till it filled their view completely. The palace was as large as Chen himself had seen it, and standing on the steps was the fairy lady Leanne.
Quickly, while the wind still blows, step into the brocade.
For a moment, Chen was too outstanding to move. Then he took a hold of his mother's arm, and together they stepped forward. It was a shimmering, and there they stood before the Sun Palace. Leanne rushed up to them, and the other fairy ladies gathered around. She said to the widow,
Welcome, honored one. If it pleases you, we'd love for you to stay and teach us your secrets of your craft.
I would love nothing more, but Chen, is it all right with you? Yes, Mother, it is just fine with me.
So the widow became teachers of the fairies, and Chen became husband to Leanne. And people say there are no brocades finer than the ones than they weave at the Sun Palace.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Girl Who Changed Her Fate. It's a folk tale from Greece. There once was a widow, and she lived with her 3 daughters.
Cassandra,
Yes, Mama?
come sit at the table for lunch.
Okay.
Thank you, dear. Helena,
Yes?
cut the baklava for dessert.
All right, Mama.
That's not a hard job to delegate. Elena? Pretty flowers, love. Won't you set them on the table? Come here. The front porch needs sweeping. You never know when a suitor will come to call.
I suppose it could happen.
Suitors never come here anymore.
Even if they did, it's not likely they care if the front porch was swept.
When's the last time a young man even stepped foot in our cottage?
Before the harvest?
Exactly, and it's nearly harvest time again.
I can barely remember what a young man even looks like. What do they look like?
Helena, I've come to ask your hand in marriage.
Maybe it's just as well no suitors come to call anymore.
Girls, please. So it's been a dry spell with the suitors. I'm sure one will come knocking on the door at any moment. The front porch. Oh my goodness, sooner than I expected. If that doesn't sound like the knock of a young man.
How can you tell? But what if it is?
Do I look alright?
You look fine. Maybe brush your hair. Do you know where my red scarf is?
Saw it out on the porch a couple days ago. Can you see the stain on my blouse?
Nope. Do you think I should have my hair up or down?
Girls, really. Oh.
My goodness, I get the impression you were expecting someone else.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sybil, do come in.
Thank you, dear. Don't mind if I rest weary bones.
Maybe get you some tea, fresh olive bread?
No, thank you. Though, one slice of olive bread wouldn't hurt, would it?
Of course not.
This feta cheese looks good.
Here, let me spread some on your bread. Well then, to what do we owe the pleasure of this visit?
So polite. Reminds me of your charming daughters.
Thank you. I wish we heard more of this from young men. Suitors, never mind.
I think I know what you're thinking.
How could you?
I know there hasn't been a suitor come to call for your charming daughters for a while now.
How would you know that?
This is something only the mistress of the house can hear.
Girls, go on now. Leave us for a bit.
Mama, no!
We have to hear this.
My, they speak.
Girls, where are your manners? Our visitor and I need privacy. Go out to the garden now. Those beans don't pick themselves, you know. So dramatic. You heard me.
Very well.
Come on, let's go.
Another piece?
I wouldn't dream of it. Maybe just one more.
And so?
Ah, yes. You might as well know. One of your daughters is ill-fated, and that's why no suitors are coming to call.
Oh my goodness, but why and when did this start?
Like I know, the truth is, somewhere along the way, the fate of one of your daughters changed. As long as that daughter stays here, no suitors will come to call for any of your daughters.
I almost hate to ask, but which of my daughters is ill-fated?
The one who sleeps with her head on both hands.
Ah, and what am I to do for the poor child?
Your best bet is to worry about your other daughters. The only solution for your households is for the ill-fated girl to leave the house. Only then will your households return to normal.
And send my daughter out into the world?
You know the saying, everything in its own time and the mackerel in August. You know what needs to happen.
That night, when the daughters were asleep, the widow visited each of their beds. At Cassandra's bed, she saw her daughter sleeping on her back.
It's not you, dear Cassandra.
At Helena's bed, she saw her daughter sleeping on her stomach.
Nor is it you, Helena. This must mean...
The widow visited Elena's bed, and alas, the youngest daughter was sleeping with her head on both of her hands.
Elena, my dear girl, what woe has befallen you?
Mama, what's wrong?
Nothing, dear.
Mama, something is wrong. You have to tell me.
The widow shared with her daughters what the old woman had told her.
Well, there's only one thing to be done.
Elena, you cannot be thinking about leaving our home. Put that thought out of your mind this very moment.
What choice do I have? I can't stay here. I'm the one who's keeping my sisters from finding happiness.
The world's a dangerous place.
We want you to stay, Elena.
We don't care if you're ill-fated. You're a sister.
But Elena wouldn't listen. And the next morning, she packed up her things and was ready to leave.
Goodbye, Elena.
We'll miss you.
Here, for your travels. Be safe, my child.
Goodbye, everyone.
And no sooner had she left when there was a knock at the door.
Is Cassandra here?
Here I am.
Fair Cassandra, I offer you this necklace of gold.
Is Helena here?
Yes, here I am.
Lovely Helena, I offer you the silver talisman. I think my mic was...
Oh my, this worked quickly.
Elena left her home and wandered the streets of Greece. She soon found herself in a village and with little food and no money to her name.
I don't have a single drachma left. I'm hungry. I must get a job right away.
She soon found herself working for a baker.
My dear young lady, you are very hardworking and pleasant with the customers. Well, when we had customers. And if an empty shop wasn't bad enough, the oven is broken. Now there are beetles in the flour sacks.
Oh dear.
There are just too many troubles at once. I'm afraid I must let you go.
It's all right. I understand. What's next for me?
Elena then got a job working for a seamstress.
My luck is sure to change this time.
What am I to do, child?
Uh-oh, not again.
How can I tell you? Right after I started working here, the price of fabric skyrocketed. My needles started breaking, and I never break needles. Whenever I sit down, I sit on a needle, and I've always been careful not to leave needles lying around.
Ouch.
Strange things are happening, mark my words. I watch customer walk right by my storefront, going, gone. Customer who used to come in all the time. I can't afford to keep you on. You understand, don't you?
More than you know.
Pins everywhere.
Whenever I get a job, troubles follow. What am I to do?
Oh no, Elena. Is there no hope for our heroine?
Excuse your majesty. You dropped this.
Keep it, dear. My, you're a charming young maiden.
You'd probably best not talk to me. I wouldn't want to cause you any ill luck.
Why would just talking to you bring anyone ill luck?
Bad things happen to me, no matter where I go or what I do. I can't get away from it.
I once met someone like you.
You was, what's it called?
Ill-fated.
Yes, ma'am, that's the word for me. I don't know why.
Well, this fellow is able to change his fate.
What? That's possible?
Yes, all fates live in the mountains.
Over there.
All of them?
How they manage, I
Can't say.
but that's where they live.
Your Majesty, if I find my fate, is there something I should do?
You have to change your fate.
Fate's bad mood. Offer your
Fate a gift, and if your fate accepts, your fate will change like that.
What type of gift does a fate like?
Each fate is different. It's your fate. Think what you might like.
I think I have an idea.
Go for it, child. As for me, back to the castle and those royal duties. Never ends. Well, good luck.
Thank you, Your Majesty. This may be the last chance I get. Finally! It's not easy getting all the way to the top of a mountain. How will I know which fate is mine? Well, here goes. Are you my fate?
You thought I was your fate?
Guess not, just as well. You have a nice smile. Are you my fate?
If I were your fate, would you have climbed the mountain looking for me?
Good point. Thanks anyway. Are you my fate?
I should say not.
Are you my fate?
What if I were?
Then I would say it's nice to meet you.
Is it nice to meet me?
Well, yes. I mean, sort of.
You're wasting my time.
There's something about this one. I have a feeling he's the one. Wait. Would you like some baklava?
I may be your fate, but I'm not falling for that old trick.
Super thin crust,
I said no.
soaked in honey.
I don't care if it was made out of ambrosia. There's no way in the world I would... Not bad. Not bad at all. Love a buttery crust. We just don't get real baklava up here in the mountains.
It's the best ever, isn't it?
Let's not get carried away, but it's not bad. And I may have something for you too.
What's this?
Tell me you've never seen a ball of thread.
Of course I have. Am I to spin something with it?
You're to sell it. The thread is silk. You sell it for its exact weight in gold.
Oh, right. I'll sell it for its exact weight in gold.
The girl has ears.
Thanks for the ball of thread.
Silk thread.
Of course, the ball of silk thread. Well, I'll be on my way now. Here, for you.
Okay.
Yes?
A flower? Seriously?
Oh, right.
That's more like it.
Well, it was nice meeting you.
It had its moments.
I'm not sure if everything happened the way it was supposed to, but it has to be a good thing to get a gift from one's fate, right?
Thank you, dear. This blasted dress makes it so hard to see where I'm walking. Ah, I remember you. Did you make it to the mountain? Did you find your fate?
I did.
Excellent. What happened?
He accepted my baklava. Then he gave me this ball of silk thread. He said I need to sell it for its weight in gold.
He gave you a ball of silk thread? My dear, that is a very good sign. Your luck is sure to change.
You really think so?
Indubitably. Tell me, child, what is your name?
Elena, Your Majesty. I live in the cottage beyond the cornfield. Or at least I used to, before I had to leave home because of my ill fate. But I bet I can finally go back home now.
Well, off with you then.
Bye, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty,
Young man,
if I may, who is that young lady? There's something about her. I wish I could meet her.
why can't you?
I just don't know what I'd say to a maiden like that.
Well, here's a thought. I happen to know she's selling a ball of silk thread.
Is that so? Say, my sister's having a wedding next week. She said she needs a ball of silk thread to finish her dress.
You know what to say to the maiden?
I do. And do you happen to know her name?
Yes, her name's Elena.
Elena, what a beautiful name. I'm coming, Elena!
Mama?
Elena, my darling, you're back for a visit. How wonderful.
Actually, I was hoping I could move back in.
Oh, my daughter, nothing would make me happier. But what about your...
My fate? I think it's about to change, Mama.
Ah, I wish it were true.
It is, Mama. I changed it. I changed my fate.
If only that was possible.
I didn't believe it at first, but I met this wonderful queen and she told me how. I had to travel to the mountains and bring my fate a gift.
Ah, so you're a Greek bearing gifts.
I suppose, but I think it worked because he gave me a gift too.
My head is spinning. Come, my darling, sit and eat.
It's been a long time, Mama, since I've had your olive bread. Where are Cassandra and Helena?
They both got married to fine young men. It all happened so quickly, right after you left. They wanted so much for you to be at their weddings, Elena, but...
It's all right. I understand. I'm just glad they're happy.
And now you can be too. My dear, how can you be sure it worked? That you did change your fate?
Well...
I'll be right back. I'm expecting the tailor. Oh!
I get the impression you're expecting someone else.
Oh, terribly sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. Please do come in. And you're here for...
Is this where I can find Elena?
As a matter of fact, she just came home.
I'm looking to buy a ball of silk thread. I heard you may have one for sale.
You heard correctly, but it'll cost its weight in gold for you to buy it.
Strange terms, but that's okay. Let's weigh it.
That's my cue. Just a second to set up here.
Take your time.
Okay, all set.
So Elena placed the ball of silk thread on one end of the scale.
Ooh, heavy.
The visitor reached into his pockets and began putting gold coins on the other end of the scale, one by one.
Not so heavy.
Looks like I'll need more gold coins.
But nothing happened.
I keep adding more gold, but it never seems to be enough.
I've never seen anything like it. Certainly it should have been more than enough for this one ball of thread, even if it is silk.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's not cutting it.
Wait, I have an idea.
There we go.
Why, the scale's perfectly even now. Who would have thought?
If you don't mind.
Oh, right, sorry.
I guess you are the perfect match for the ball of thread.
I guess so. And maybe the perfect match for you too. Elena, I have feelings about this. Do you feel it too? Elena, will you marry me?
Yes, I do. I will. Now I know my fate has changed.
Let's celebrate with baklava fresh from the oven.
I think our fate is to celebrate with some of my mother's baklava.
Smells like destiny to me.
And so the young couple got married, and the whole family was there to see their happy ending.
Wait a minute, she went off and changed her fate? Folks can do that? My goodness, if you don't learn something every day. Did I hear baklava?
And thus concludes our story, The Girl Who Changed Her Fate. And someday you need to find your own. May you be able to change yours too.
What's your emergency?
Hello? This is the fairy godmother. Cinderella is missing. I would like to file a missing persons report.
Not another one of these late night Lulus. Okay, lady, calm down. How long has this Cinderella been missing?
Well, she was supposed to return home from the ball at Prince Charming's castle at the stroke of midnight, but she never arrived.
And what time is it now?
12:30.
You're telling me that she's a half hour late from returning from the ball at the prince's castle, and you're already filing a missing persons report? Give me a break, lady.
But I know something is wrong.
Seriously, lady, maybe you should get more sleep. This is the emergency hotline. Give us a call back in 24 hours if she hasn't shown up by then.
Can you please just send a unit over to the prince's castle to see what they can find out?
Fine. I'll see who's available at this hour of the night. Go to the castle and wait for a detective.
Oh, thank you. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, a glass shoe I'll make for you.
Thanks, but no thanks. A glass shoe is a useless idea. Go to the castle and wait for a detective, like I told you.
On my way.
What a piece of work. Seriously, a glass shoe?
All right, people. And non-people. Whose party is this?
Yeah, whose party is this?
This is Prince Charming's annual ball. Everyone in the kingdom knows that. Tonight, the prince is trying to find a wife.
Okay, is this some kind of prank? Where's the camera? Am I in an episode of The Bachelor?
Absolutely not. The ball is for Prince Charming, heir to the kingdom of far, far away. He does not need to resort to such low levels as to be on The Bachelor.
Has he heard of eHarmony?
Do not insult the prince. He does not need an internet dating service when he can simply host a ball for all to attend.
Thank you, Blake, but I'll take it from here. Who was the last person to have seen Miss Cinderella?
Well, I was, Detective.
Really?
Yes, we had been dancing all night when suddenly she ran off at the stroke of midnight.
What did you say that made her run off so quickly?
Yeah, what did you say, Buster?
Nothing. I simply said that she was the most beautiful girl in the world and I wanted to marry her immediately.
How long have you known Cinderella?
I met her earlier this evening near the buffet table.
You mean to tell me that you met her only earlier this evening and you were already proposing marriage?
Yes, I have been searching for her my entire life. Don't you believe in love at first sight?
Nope. A few more hours of familiarity couldn't hurt either. Jeez, haven't you heard of Frozen?
Huh?
You know, Frozen. Let it go, let it go.
Let it go! Let it go! Can't hold it back anymore.
Anyways, I would never do anything to hurt her. Please help me find her.
Let me lock him up, boss.
I swear I would never hurt her. I did find a glass slipper that fell off her foot. Maybe this can help you find her.
Ew, a glass shoe? How pointless is that? No one in their right mind will put a glass shoe on their foot.
Good point, actually. All right, Charming, stay where you are. We may need you to answer some questions later on.
You may want to question Cinderella's stepsisters. She kept telling me how mean they were to her. She even said that they did not want her to attend my annual ball. Her specific comment was that her stepsister would kill her if she came to the ball.
Find me a stepsister.
Find him a stepsister. Name?
Who wants to know?
Me?
Let me see your credentials.
The name's Florinda.
Okay, Florinda. Where were you this evening around midnight?
I was waiting by the punch bowl for my chance to dance with the prince.
Oh, did Cindy's dancing with Prince Charming make you jealous?
No, of course not. I already have a boyfriend.
Well,
Name, I don't know.
Well, I have a source who says you said you would kill her if she came to the ball.
Your source is Prince Charming, and I was standing right behind him when he said that. What I actually said was, I would simply die if Cindy came to the ball.
Why would you say such a thing?
Yeah, why would you say such a thing?
I said it because Cindy is always so busy cleaning the house.
She never does anything for herself, actually.
She's always like, ooh, let me finish this dress, or let me sweep this floor, but like, you get the idea.
So, you have no idea why she would run off at midnight for no reason.
Nope, none at all. Maybe she forgot she had a souffle in the oven or something.
Boss! Boss! Look who I found howling at the woods while you were grilling Florinda.
Well, 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 if it isn't the big bad wolf.
Why does everyone keep calling me that?
Are you big?
Not really, kind of average size.
Are you bad?
No, not at all.
Are you a wolf?
Of course I'm a wolf.
Aha! So you admit it. You are a big bad wolf.
Anywho, where were you this evening around midnight?
I was having dinner with Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, right, and I'm LeBron James.
Well, Detective James, that's exactly where I was.
Wait, you're LeBron James?
You expect me to believe that you, the big bad wolf, were having dinner with Little Red Riding Hood?
Yes, I was, but I'm not big or bad.
No, you certainly aren't big and bad.
I was having dinner with her, I swear. You see, her grandmother took an overnight bus to the casino, so we finally had the place to ourselves. I was planning on proposing to her.
You were?
You were?
I was.
Oh, Wolfie.
Let's see the ring.
Ooh, yes, let's see the ring. Oh, Wolfie, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Woohoo, good for you. That still doesn't explain or mean that you couldn't have eaten Granny on your way to your late night proposal with Little Red.
I would never eat her.
It's true, because Wolfie's a vegetarian.
What?
Vegan, actually. I have been ever since I Googled how hot dogs are made. I do not believe in cruelty towards animals, humans included.
Then why did I see you run away from Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother's house howling like you're in pain?
That's because a stranger came by the house and looked in the window while we were eating our porcini rubbed tofu salad. She had a big knife and blood all over her clothes. She put her head in through the open window and said she was going to give it to me.
What did you do?
What do you mean, what did I do? I ran. What would you do if a stranger came into your house with a giant knife and blood all over her clothes?
I would use my exclusive officer training, disarm her, and pin her down.
Well, I do not believe in violence, but I am a good screamer, so I ran out screaming. The stranger kept chasing me, shouting, "This is for Granny! This is for Granny!" I had no idea what she was talking about, but she kept shouting it while brandishing the huge knife.
It's true, I followed after them. I was trying to tell this man that the wolf and I were friends. Well, more than friends, actually. But I couldn't keep up with them and lost them somewhere in the woods. That's when I saw a figure. I thought it might be the knife-wielding man, but then I realized it was just a young girl. Come to think of it, she did have blonde hair like Cinderella. I saw her run into that house over there. I would have followed her, but I was too concerned about Wolfie.
Well then, Wolfie, how did you escape this knife-wielding stranger?
Eventually, she cornered me, and I thought I was a goner, but that's when I did what I do best.
You ate her?
No, I'm not a barbarian. I howled at the top of my lungs.
That must be when I saw the wolf. I can confirm I did see a woman run away as I approached. And that's her, right there.
That was me. I was the one with the knife. I didn't mean to scare anyone. I was just on my way home from the butcher shop, and I still had my apron on. And I always carry my knife. You never know who you'll meet in the woods.
You always stick your head in other people's windows, you creep?
Not at all. Granny sometimes leaves a pie waiting for me on the windowsill.
Then why'd I...
That still doesn't explain why you chased after Wolfie yelling, "This is for Granny."
Because it is for Granny. I was delivering these fresh-cut pork chops she ordered, which need to be refrigerated, by the way, and I ran after the wolf, trying to give him the package.
Then if your little pork chop is on the up and up, why'd I see you run away in the other direction when you saw me?
I have some unpaid traffic fines I thought you were trying to collect, but I was never gonna hurt the wolf, I swear.
Okay, Butcher, hand over those pork chops.
They're for Granny.
I'm collecting them for evidence. Hand them over. Thank you. In your attempt to elude the police, did you happen to see a young blonde woman enter that house over there?
You mean the Three Bears house?
Mm-hmm, that house over there.
I did see someone enter their house, but I didn't get a good look at her.
Is that blood on your apron?
Yeah, I told you. I'm a butcher.
This girl hacks up animals for a living, and I'm the big bad one? Unbelievable.
Come on, let's go see if Cindy's in there. Open up, it's the police.
Yeah, open up, or I'll huff, and I'll puff, and...
What is wrong with you?
Too soon?
Yes! Everyone stand back. I'm gonna kick the door in. Ah! Ah!
You forest animals really need to start locking your doors. You know, not everyone lives happily ever after. Plus, check out that flat screen TV over there. Anyone could just waltz right in and help themselves.
Yeah, but if Papa Bear is home...
Point taken.
What are y'all doing inside my house?
We saw a young woman enter your house, and we have reason to believe she may be a missing person we are looking for.
How the heck did you get in?
Well, I was gonna kick the door in, but it was unlocked.
Baby Bear, did you forget to lock the door again?
Everyone was rushing me. It's not my fault.
It's okay, sweetie. You know how Papa gets on Black Friday. Got to be the first in line. Obviously, the 60-inch flat screen we bought last year wasn't big enough.
I ain't gonna watch the Cubs win another World Series on that tiny screen.
That's because the Cubs ain't gonna win another World Series.
Ah, this porch is too high.
That's because that is a hot crock pot, you ninny.
Yeah, this porch is too cold.
That's because someone left it sitting out on the counter for 3 hours. Get yourself a bowl and help yourself. Use the ladle on the counter. Is this guy seriously a police officer?
He's in training. Actually, he's my wife's nephew.
You're married?
Yup, 15 wonderful years.
Too bad.
Well, I'm not married.
Kind of figured that.
I have a question, Papa Bear.
Yes?
If you were so intent on buying a new TV, then where is it?
You think I got that kind of money just lying around? I put it on layaway, duh.
You can still do that.
Yup, should be all paid off by spring training.
Ah, this porch is just right.
Hey, he's eating out of my bowl.
Put the bowl down. We have a missing person to find.
This chair is way too hard.
This chair is way too soft.
That's because that ain't your chair.
This chair feels just right. Whoa!
Look what you did to my chair.
Sorry.
Somebody's gonna have to pay for that.
Enough! This is the longest search of a house I've ever had. What's over there?
That's our bedroom.
This bed feels really firm.
It has done wonders for my bad back.
This bed is quite soft.
Hey, get your dirty hands off my clean comforter.
Somebody's sleeping in my bed.
It's Cinderella.
Who is Cinderella?
You are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. See the beautiful dreadlocks of gold, hence Goldilocks.
That's all great, but what the heck were you doing sleeping in Baby Bear's bed?
I rented a room off Airbnb.
We didn't put a room up on Airbnb, did we?
No, we didn't. Did we?
Don't look at me.
Are you the Berensteins?
Nope, Berenstein's live 2 houses over.
Oh, that's my bad. Hey, Wolfie, long time no see.
How have you been? Move along, sister. He's not that interested.
Bad wolf.
Well, it seems we're back to square one.
Maybe you should go check out the gingerbread house at the end of the block. Who the heck glues candy all over the outside of their house?
Ooh, a house of candy. Yum.
A house of gingerbread, you say? Sounds suspicious. Let's go check it out.
Open up, or else I'm gonna kick down the door.
No, you're not. No, he's not. Why do you have to keep on trying to kick in everyone's door?
Who is it?
It's the police. Open up.
Are you here because of that awful bear down the street?
Maybe.
Well, tell her to mind her own business.
We are looking for a missing young woman.
Well, she isn't here, so leave me alone.
Do you mind if we just take a quick look inside?
Do you have any idea what time it is?
It's 12:13 a.m.
Exactly. Go away. You're interrupting my beauty sleep.
Please, this is an urgent police matter.
Fine. But like I already told you, no one is here except for me and Snow White.
Is that apple pie I smell?
Why, yes it is. Witch and I are making pies for the dwarves. Working in the mines all day really does strum up a large appetite. This is the night that we give each other facials and catch up on our favorite television shows. Do you have any idea what it's like sharing TV with 7 dwarves?
I can understand. What's the deal with the candy rope, though?
It's not real. I bought the darn house this way. Do you have any idea what it's like trying to find affordable housing in this kingdom?
You're telling us.
Well, it appears we're back. It appears our trail has gone cold once again.
Just like Baby Bear's porch.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man?
Who lives on Drury Lane?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, why?
Well, next door to his house lives this beautiful young woman and her appalling husband. I mean, he can't be a real beast, can he, Snow?
Oh yes, completely vulgar. I have no idea what she sees in him.
He's one of those brooding types.
Like an actor?
Worse.
Like a poet?
Worse.
An insurance salesman.
Exactly.
Come on, everyone, to Drury Lane.
Think anyone's home?
I don't know.
Oh man, my shoes untied.
Came all the way out here and nobody's home.
Is this even the right house?
I wonder if they have any more porridge.
Uncle, I'm bored.
My feet hurt.
It's getting cold.
I'm tired.
The following lines are from A Streetcar Named Desire. There isn't a darn thing but imagination, lies, and tricks. I've been on to you from the start, and did you not once pull the wool over my eyes?
We have to do something.
Now would be a great time to kick in the door. Genius.
Got it, Uncle Bob. Boss. Ah!
What the heck do you think you're doing?
Step away from that woman. Ma'am, are you all right?
I'm perfectly fine. What is everyone doing on our porch at this hour?
We heard that beast over there yelling at you. Just say the word and I'll turn him into a sausage.
What are you talking about?
It's okay, friends. We're here to help you. You don't have to put up with a beast like that.
Beast?
Beast? I wouldn't even hurt a flower.
Ha! Likely story, pal.
It's true. He is the kindest, most generous person I know.
Then why was he yelling at you if he's so kind and generous?
I can explain. What you heard was my wife and I rehearsing scenes from Tennessee Williams's A Streetcar Named Desire.
Do you really expect us to believe that?
Yeah, you really expect us to believe that?
It's true, Detective. My husband has a very important callback at the Royal Conservatory Theater tomorrow.
Hoping to land the role of Stanley Kowalski.
Oh, Stanley's the real beast.
I'm impressed. They do some lovely productions over at the Royal Conservatory Theater. Just lovely.
Okay, enough with the theater reviews. We still have no Cinderella, and once again, our leads have gone dry. In the future, I advise you to do your scene rehearsing at a more reasonable hour.
But my husband is nocturnal.
Is that contagious?
Yes, especially when your neighbor over there is hammering away at 4 o'clock in the morning.
What does he do that he's hammering away at 4 in the morning?
He's a toy maker, and a few fries short of a Happy Meal, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I do. He's dieting.
No, he's not playing a full deck.
Oh, he's a magician.
No, he's got a couple screws loose.
Just like Baby Bear's chair.
No, he's nuts. He's insane. He's lost his marbles.
That can be very upsetting. I once lost a whole bag of marbles.
Why don't you go take a break? This one was born in a glue factory or something. Do you think the toy maker is capable of hiding a missing person?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to check him out.
And if you could kindly remind him that quiet hours are in effect until 8 a.m., that would be great.
Come on, to the toy maker's house.
I'm tired. Hope we find her soon.
Good morning. What seems to be the problem, officer?
Look, Mama, it's a talking doll.
Actually, I'm a real boy.
Sure you are, buddy. And I'm Winnie the Pooh.
No, I really am.
You're kind of cute.
You really think so? Yeah. Sorry, but I kind of have a girlfriend. I mean, we're on a little bit of a break. Okay, I did talk to a girl tonight. I really did, and she was beautiful.
But she's not your girlfriend, is she?
I wish. However, she did say that she wanted to be friends. Does that count?
No.
What exactly did this girl look like?
Well, she was about this tall with blue eyes.
Was she wearing a glass slipper?
What an odd question. Come to think of it, she was holding one glass slipper. My father gave her a pair of wooden clogs and a sweater to wear. I mean, why would anyone want to have a glass slipper?
Wait, you mean your father, the toy maker, talked with her as well?
Yes, of course.
Where is he now? I can't believe I'm having a conversation with a wooden doll.
I'm going to be a real boy someday.
Sure you are, buddy. And I'm gonna be an NBA All-Star.
Anything can happen when you wish upon a star.
Sure, kid. Now, where's your old man?
He left with Cindy.
You know her name and you're only telling us now?
You never asked me her name. You only asked me what she looked like.
How do you know her name is Cindy?
My father called her that. She started crying, and then he gave her the clogs and sweater, and then they left.
Which way did they go?
Why don't you ask them yourself?
I wish I could.
See, wishes do come true because here they come.
Step away from the wagon and put your hands in the air.
What did you do to Cinderella?
Well, she's just dead. You murderer! Hold your horses. What I was about to say is she's dead tired. See for yourself.
Cinderella, are you okay?
I am now. Who the heck are you? Florinda? Lucinda? What are you doing here?
We've been searching for you all night.
You have? You mean you like me? You really, really like me?
Yeah. Sure. Okay, fine. I was just waiting to get some alone time with Prince Charming.
You were?
Of course I was. I've been waiting to dance with you since we were just kids.
Why have you never said anything?
I was afraid you wouldn't want to dance with me, but I realized the ball might be my final chance.
Oh, Lucinda.
You mean Florinda?
What did I say?
Lucinda.
All right. Oh, Florinda, make my dreams come true, and please say you'll be my wife.
Dang, this guy moves fast.
He's all yours.
Yes, I will be your wife.
Beautiful.
All right, now that we got that out of the way, can we please get back to my investigation? First of all, why the heck did you ditch from the ball so fast?
I can answer that. I made it so that at the stroke of midnight, the gown you were wearing would turn into rags, and the carriage that brought you to the ball would turn back into a pumpkin pulled by mice.
And why would you do that?
I don't know, it's kind of my thing.
You're strange.
You're dating a wolf, and I'm the strange one?
You are both strange. However, that is not the reason I ran from the prince.
Then why?
Yeah, why? Not that I care, but why? I ran because his breath smelled awful and he wouldn't stop talking about himself for a single second. I don't care how many velvet vests you own or what the names of all your horses are. Did you know that he asked me to marry him when the only words I spoke to him were, "Hi, my name's Cinderella, but most people call me Cindy." Talk about desperate. No offense, Florinda.
None taken.
So what happened then?
Well, when Prince over here got down on one knee, I knew I had to make my escape, so I did the oldest trick in the book.
You played dead?
No, I said, "Look, a unicorn," and I pointed behind him. When he turned to look, I ran like the castle was on fire. I could have easily outrun him if it weren't for these useless glass slippers. Do you have any idea what it's like to run in sweaty glass slippers?
Okay, I get it. Glass slippers are a bad idea. See what you get for trying to think outside the box?
Luckily, the sweaty glass slipper slipped off my feet and I was able to get into the forest. I kept running until I saw this little toy shop where I heard the most beautiful singing.
Do you mean my singing?
Oh gosh, no. As soon as I heard that passionate falsetto, I knew there was only one person that could sing like that.
Justin Timberlake? Who? Never mind.
I like it better when you don't talk.
The voice I heard was of my grandfather, Geppetto.
I saw her at my door and let her in. I gave her a sweater and some clogs because she was wearing a sweaty glass slipper. I mean, who in their right mind would wear a glass slipper?
Got it. It's a bad idea. Point is made.
When Grandpa went into the room, the wooden boy over there...
Did you just call me a boy?
Yes, a wooden boy.
Close enough.
Anyway, Wooden Nose over there kept asking if we could be friends. I told him that Geppetto was my grandfather, and he said that kind of made him like my uncle. Luckily, Grandpa came back from the room and we left.
So, where did you go?
We went to my childhood home, the home I lived in before my mother died, before my father married their mother.
She fell asleep on the cold stone floor, so I picked her up and put her in a wagon and took her back home.
Well, it appears another case has been solved.
How about you make me a real boy?
How about no?
Aw, come on.
Hey everyone, there's still plenty of food over at my castle.
Our castle.
Our castle. Breakfast is on us.
Yay!
Yay.